Hi, thank you for logging in to this week's Paralegal Power Break, which is how to transition from a secretary to a paralegal. Now, I know based off of the topic, it may sound like a session that's only useful for individuals that are currently working in secretarial roles, whether that be a legal secretary or you might be a secretary in another industry and wanting to transition to become a paralegal. But actually, this particular session is also useful for paralegals and also for individuals that may not be in the legal industry or may not be a secretary at all. So the tip providing in this particular session will help you to get started with becoming a paralegal. So the first step or first tip is to change your mind about what a paralegal is. And that goes for individuals that are currently working in a paralegal role, because some paralegals actually think like secretaries. They operate like secretaries, and sometimes they are treated like secretaries. And this is not only is it hindering your ability to climb the career ladder, but also it hinders your firm and your organization's ability to be able to recoup the cost of using your services as a paralegal. So you first have to change your mind about what a paralegal is, even if you are currently working in a paralegal role. If you're not in a currently working a paralegal role, you may not know what a paralegal is, because there's really no across the board definition of what a paralegal is. It may change based off of the firm you work in. It may change or be different based off of the region that you work in or the practice area that you work in. You have some firms that have positions for legal secretaries, legal assistants, and paralegals. So it might be confusing to understand what is the difference between all of those roles, especially when a firm has a position for a legal assistant and a paralegal. The best way to understand what a paralegal is to think value. A paralegal, the key function of a paralegal is to be able to lower the cost of legal services. So what does that mean? That means that instead of a attorney working on a particular function, like let's say legal research, it is more useful to use a paralegal for something like that, because they have the skill set to be able to do so, and the attorney can work on other functions that are more geared towards the skill level that an attorney has that a paralegal may not necessarily have, or is not ethically able to provide that particular type of service. Also, being able to delegate work to a paralegal that's just not secretarial in nature, because that's really just a waste of a paralegal. Because again, when you're thinking value, a paralegal's time can be recouped from clients, where a secretary's time cannot. So that's really the big difference of what a paralegal is, and what defines that paralegal role, and what differentiates the paralegal from a legal secretary and an attorney. Now, if you're in a firm where they have a role of a legal assistant, a legal secretary, and a paralegal, it might get really confusing to make that distinction. Typically, what you'll see is that when you have a role of a legal assistant and a paralegal and a legal secretary, the legal assistant really is in between a legal secretary and a legal assistant. I'm sorry, and a paralegal. The legal assistant will typically be the assistant to the paralegal. They'll assist the paralegal with certain functions. But again, in order to clarify the role of a paralegal, the best thing to do is to think value. A legal secretary's time cannot be recouped. They're typically considered to be clerks, where a paralegal is a role that their time can be recovered from a client, as long as the work that they're doing is substantial or substantive legal work, like legal research, interviewing clients, assisting at deposition, assisting at trial. Now, regardless of what role a particular individual holds, whether that be a paralegal or even attorney, and they're doing secretarial work like filing and scheduling meetings, that's not able to be billed to clients. So when determining what the paralegal is, think value. And when you're operating as a paralegal, think value. How are you, what you're doing, is it bringing value to your firm? If you're working on scheduling meetings and spending a lot of time searching for a file and filing, know that at that point you're diminishing your value, because what you're doing cannot be recouped from a client. And if you have billable hour quotas, that time is not billable. Now, another way to transition from a secretary role or secretarial mindset is to improve certain skills. A really good skill to improve is researching skills, because you can spend a lot of time researching. And so if you become really efficient at that, you will increase your value to your firm and you'll be more efficient at what you do. But you can also improve your technological skills. That's really important, especially if you are someone that is looking to enter the paralegal career. And let's say you work in retail. You can be like a waitress, and you may not have, that your technology skills may not be that great. You may know how to use a computer, surf the web, do certain things like that, use email. But as far as it goes with using certain applications that are typically used in a law firm, like practice management systems, you may have no clue. So you can improve those technological skills by signing up for free webinars, going to different websites like the companies that offer practice management systems, like LexisNexis is a major one, Thomson Reuters is a major one. Then you have the cloud-based practice management systems like Clio, Rocket Matter, you have Firm Manager, Amicus Attorney. These are all cloud-based systems, but you can go to different legal sites. Just Google legal practice management system and go on their site. A lot of times these particular companies offer free webinars that you can log into, and it will provide you with some useful tips and resources about how to use their particular practice management system. Another tip to help you get started with the transition is to map out your success. Create a plan. Create a short-term and a long-term plan about how you are going to transition into the paralegal role, or if you're currently a paralegal, how you are going to demonstrate your value so the attorneys in your firm will feel more comfortable delegating more substantive legal work to you instead of the secretarial type of work. So you can map that out. You can determine that you may need a certificate. You may need to brush up on your technological skills. You may need to network more. Join a paralegal association. So if you map out your success, this will provide you with a framework and some guidelines on how you can achieve your goal as far as transitioning into the paralegal role. And last but definitely not least, you don't want to go at it alone. You want to enlist the assistance of either someone in your firm or your organization that is currently in the role that you're looking to transition into, that can help you and provide you some tips on how they actually became a paralegal, whether that was them getting into that position by being promoted within. They can provide you with some helpful tips, resources, and guidance and advice on how they did it. Or if they got hired as a paralegal, you can ask them, well, how did you land the job? What did you do? Did you get a certificate? Did you learn about a particular practice area? Did you network and get the job by somebody that you know? You can also join different associations and just listen into different sessions when they have meetings and things like that, CLE events, where you can kind of get some insight on how you can become more valuable in your firm. Whether you're a secretary or paralegal and you're looking to get a promotion, or if you're not in the field just get some assistance with how you can become a paralegal and some things that you can do and things that you can avoid. And you can visit our website, paralegalrainmakers.com. Go to the Resource Center page and register for next week's Paralegal Power Break, which will be LinkedIn for paralegals, how you can use LinkedIn to empower your paralegal career. Thank you for your time. Have a great day and a great rest of your week.